What's up, community? Back here with another video for you guys. Currently working. Snowing outside. You see it. Getting to the money, getting to the bag. Staying focused. Always ready. Today I just want to talk about staying focused and staying on that path. Today there's so many distractions that can distract you from what you want to do, whether that's family telling you that's not a good idea, or friends, or relationship, or whatever it may be. Your phone, you're distracted by your phone, steady scrolling, doom scrolling on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You're not doing anything with your life. These things may not show an effect today, but I guarantee you that in 5 to 10 years, people will start to realize how much of an effect it has had on society. And that's why I started making these videos, because I'm really passionate about trying to help the younger generation that doesn't have a mentor or doesn't have somebody to look up to. Things get difficult. Life is not easy. As a man, you will start to realize that life isn't easy as you start to get older. That you have, especially if you don't have anybody that has mentored you or a father figure. Some of us may have had coaches in some kind of sport that has given us some kind of guidance on how difficult it is to live life, but they can only do so much. And that's why a father figure is very important, because they are the blueprint. They've already been through anything that you will ever go through. But if you don't have a father figure, there's people out there that you can look up to, and you can take pieces from each one of those people. You don't have to want to be exactly like that person. You can be different. You could just take a piece from here, a piece from there, and then create yourself based off that. Too many people want to be like somebody, which unfortunately will never happen. You are your own person. You will never be like that person. So create yourself. Be happy with yourself. Stay focused. Be ambitious. Do not be afraid. Anything that you're going through today, you'll look back 5 to 10 years and probably not even remember about it, or it will be a lesson learned for you to absolutely hit it out of the park. And that's a stepping stone. Anything you do in your life is a stepping stone to something new, something different. So yeah, guys, so just like, whether you guys want it or not, it's all up to you. Whatever it may be, having that new car, that new house, getting that girl, hitting a certain amount a month of income. These things will only happen if you really want them to happen. A lot of people say they want this, they want that, but it will never happen if the actions aren't taken in order for that to happen. And just taking the actions is just a small percentage, but staying focused, continuing to do it, even though you may not see a result then and there, in 1 day, 2 days, a month, a year, but continue to be focused and driven, knowing that that's where you want to be. It will happen. I have many examples of that. You know, I remember thinking to myself, I want to get a rental property. How do I do it? What are my steps? What is it that I need to do in order to make this happen? You know, I could have just sat on my butt and never done anything, and it wouldn't have happened. But what I did is decided to take action. I decided to talk to a realtor, which gave me information on what I needed in order to get pre-approved for a loan. I talked to them about different options on how to buy a rental property. I asked questions that I had no idea about, but that I heard about, like having a lease, having a rental agreement. What kind of people do you want to rent to, as in income, and how to vet somebody you want to rent to. And it's all different, you know. Some people rent lower income, some people rent middle class, some people rent higher class. It just all depends on the kind of real estate that you decide to purchase, right? So yeah, so these things I went ahead and took action on and made a plan and executed in order for that to happen. And it wasn't easy. I absolutely worked my butt off to make it happen and be able to get the keys to that property. Did I make mistakes? Absolutely. During that journey, I made mistakes, but I've learned a lot that the next rental property that I purchase will be a lot better, will be very much more well-rounded on vetting it and knowing what it is that I'm okay with dealing with and what is it I'm not okay dealing with, you know? For example, the property that I purchased, it didn't have separate gas meters, it didn't have separate water, light meters, so that meant that I had to include all of that in the rental per month, you know, which I would rather get paid per month and have the renter pay their utilities separately. But that's something that I learned, you know, especially learning about electrical, plumbing, cosmetic things aren't really that big of a deal. Roofs, all these things that you don't think about, but as you start to own the property for years and years, you start realizing, like, I could have negotiated on that. You know, I could have asked for something off of that. You know, these high ticket things are negotiable. That's why you do your due diligence, so that you understand what it is you're getting into, so that you have something backing you saying, hey, I would like to purchase this property, but I see this mistake here. And you go ahead and give them the option. Would you fix it, or would you like to give me X amount off, or whatever the case may be, you know? And that's up to you and the seller. And you negotiate back and forth and find a middle ground. And at the end of the day, they most likely will give you X amount of money because they just don't want to deal with it anymore, depending on your situation, you know? But these are things, as somebody who's young and new, or even older or whatever, it doesn't matter, and you have no idea how the business works, will help you, you know? There's so many little things that go on behind the scenes and after you own the property, you know, learning to deal with people. Unfortunately, a lot of real estate gurus don't talk about this, or don't like to glamorize this part because it's not that pretty, you know. But sometimes people may not pay you rent, you know. They say they don't have it, or this or that. They will give you a million excuses on why they can't pay the rent on time. And that's something that I don't hear a lot of real estate gurus talk about, but they know about it. You know, they probably figured out a system around that to help make sure that they do receive that, because at the end of the day, that money and rent you're receiving is for the mortgage. It's not like you're pocketing all of it. No, you're paying for them so that they can continue to stay there. And if you're not making that money, well, guess what? You're paying that out of pocket. You're not making anything, and you're also just paying out of your pocket. So at the end of the day, you're losing. So these are things that are very important, and unfortunately they happen. You know, people aren't perfect. Make sure you vet the people. Make sure you don't rent to people you may know. It's a headache, trust me. People take advantage of these kind of things. It's just human nature, you know. They have more leverage just because you have a relationship with them, and especially if you have sympathy. You're kind of already playing as a loser, you know. You got to run it as a business, not as something personal. At the end of the day, it is business, and you got to take it as if they went to the store and walked out with those groceries, they will face consequences for that, right? So same thing in real estate. Same thing if you're renting to somebody. If they do not pay you the rent, they got to go, you know. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, you know. Things like that you have to automatically cut off as quick as possible. You gotta cut that point. Like, for example, you get bitten by a snake on your leg, poison's running. You have nobody. There's nobody around you to help you. There's nobody. You gotta cut that shit off. Sorry, excuse my language. You gotta cut that leg off. You know. Yeah, man. Like, so stay focused, guys. You know, it's not easy. But I know that when you stay focused and you stay on that path that you know you want to, don't let nobody tell you what kind of path you want to be. Because at the end of the day, you will end up miserable. You just will. But also, learn to find mentors. It doesn't have to be a person. You know, it can be. It will be very helpful because you're actually able to ask them specific questions. But it's better. It's better to read books on people that already have the knowledge. Watch videos on people that already have the knowledge, and look up to people that you would like to be like. Like I said, you don't have to absolutely be exactly like that person, but there may be something there that person says or that person does in their life that you're like, oh wow, that's a great idea. I would like to implement that in my life. And that thing may take you a little further than you are today, you know. It may open up your mind, open up your eyes, open up ideas that you may not have had before, you know. So for me personally, I have a big goal, big future plans, but those things will not happen if I'm not consistent, if I'm not focused, if I don't have the grit. Especially grit. Grit is important, you know. You have to have grit. Regardless of what you're going through, you have to keep going. You cannot give up. It's so easy to give up. It's so easy. But you cannot give up. That's the last. You shouldn't even have that in your mind. It should just be like, what is next? How can I fix it? What do I have to do? What can I do? The thought of that coming through your mind should never happen. And if it does, practice for it to not ever come up in your head. Anytime it does come up, tell yourself, no, that's not an option, no. And slowly but surely, that option would never appear. It may appear here and there, but as you continue to say no, that option is not viable. It's not an option for me. It will no longer be there. The same as if you have a notification on your phone. It's up to you whether or not you want the notification to keep popping up. There's a settings. Our brains are like a setting system. It's a computer. You know, you're able to turn things off, but you have to have grit and you have to have discipline in order for that to happen. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that, staying focused. You know, even though things may not be easy, or maybe you're currently in a phase where you're content, but you know you want more, which is even, I would say, worse, because you're no longer hungry. You're just content with your life. So there's nothing else for you to look up to. There's nothing else for you to work towards. So if you don't have that, you have to make bigger goals for yourself. That's just what it is. Or you will stay content, and then you will eventually fall for things that have no purpose in your life, you know. So always stay focused, always stay clear on your path, and you guys got this. Thank you, community. I'm gonna keep making videos, keep posting for you guys. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and give this video a like, and go ahead and comment down below if there's something that you may want me to talk about that I haven't yet, you know, or a situation that you may be going through that maybe I can talk about something similar that maybe I've been through, or maybe I may have some knowledge on, you know. So thank you guys. See you guys later.